Well, it might only be a Thursday here in beautiful Townsville, but the racing is due to start in just 2 days' time. So that means up and down the pit lane here, the BP Ultimate pit lane, is we have Supercars crews already clawing down these race cars and making sure that everything is ready to go. So I'm going to come down here and see who we can find. Welcome to Live from the Fast Lane, although it's a little bit more like the slow lane today. It's powered by the garage. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do Tuesday night takeaway this week, courtesy of the fact that we have just been so spread out all around the country. Some of our crews are stuck down in Sydney. I know my right-hand girl is usually Bryony Ingerson, and she'll be standing here right now alongside me. So sending a lot of love to Bryony and all our crews stuck down in Sydney and everybody who's doing it tough right now. So we're going to try and bring you a little bit of fun and see who we can find. I know that we do have some of the Tickford guys lined up and a little bit of pit stop practice at the Repco garage when we get to it. It's a brand new activation. I'd love to show you it, but let's just go and check out some beautiful race cars. And you wouldn't believe that a lot of these cars have just been put through absolute hell last weekend with 250 Ks of racing on Saturday, another 250 Ks on the Sunday. So a couple of trophies for Anton Di Pasquale. They did a nice job. I think I might be able to find Anton over at the Repco garage a bit later on. And Will Davison, a tricky one for them. They had that little fuel issue on the Saturday, but gee, they were fast on Sunday and they came ripping back through. But a lot of people are going to be talking about the speed displayed by their next door neighbours at the Red Bull Ampol Racing, and these guys were just so fast. And the team's championship, Steve Couchy's getting his hands dirty down the bottom. G'day, Dave. The boys working hard to get these cars prepared for another massive race this weekend. It's not 500 Ks. I'll go through the format a little bit later on. But what I do see out the back is a couple of trophies. Everything's getting cleaned out, washed out, fixed, tuned for another big weekend. Jamie's trophies are over here, but if you come around the back, everything's a little bit packed up at the moment. But we've got Jamie Winkup, second place and second place. A great effort from Jamie and the Foxtel champagne bottle. But how about these ones? Shane Van Gisbergen and the team's trophies as well. I sure hope for Shane's sake, he's got plenty of room in his luggage this week, because these are giant trophies. Race 15 winner, race 16 winner. Let me know your thoughts on how you thought the guys at Red Bull Ampol Racing went last week. Team's trophies as well. And it was cool to see Mitch McAvoy get up there and take away the team's trophy as well. He's been a part of this team for the last couple of years. Let's go out the back. We'll see what we can find at Tickford. A few broken parts and bits of rubber. I'm just wondering if that's the moment that the two cars actually touched going through turn 13. It was probably the only two cars that could get near each other down here last week. So that's pretty cool to see that. A nice bit of moment, nice driving from the two on the weekend. They pushed each other all the way. And you saw that with Shane Van Gisbergen when he got out of the car on Saturday. He was absolutely wrecked. Down at Tickford, let's go for a wander through here. All the engineering and data stations are still coming to life for what's going to be a big weekend. The cars are up on what we call the tuning patch at the moment, so doing a wheel alignment right now, which is why we've got the little wires running down the side of the car, which is how they can set up their camber and tow and all the little things that the crews are going to need to make sure are right for another big weekend of racing for Cam Waters. I think Cam up front here. A few guys to check out. We've got Tom, he's the world extraordinaire Senor Spielbergo, internationally famous video maker. And I've also got Cam Waters and Jack LeBrock, two of the best race car drivers that you're going to find up and down pit lane. We just made Tom blush then. He makes an okay video, doesn't he?
Right, he goes all right. Don't talk it up too much.
No, that's true. And you drive an okay race car. Your thoughts off the back of 500 Ks of racing the other day, Cam?
I wouldn't say it was an okay race car. It was pretty bad, to be honest. Tyre life was terrible, but we had okay one lap speed. So we're back to the drawing books this weekend to try and find a bit more speed.
All right, and tyre life not going to be too much of an issue this weekend, or still something that you need to worry about with the sprint races?
Well, we're already 30 seconds better off from last week because the race is half the distance. So we've already made some pretty big gains thanks to Supercars. So thank you. We still need to find tyre life, no doubt. The tyre life issues last week were pretty bad, and we're still doing long stints here. So still need to find a bit for sure. But it's really good to have back-to-back rounds because you can come back here, try a whole heap of different things for practice, and hopefully you can influence those issues. So really glad that we're back up here again doing a double header, and hopefully we can find a few of these things that we're struggling with.
I know a lot of people up and down pit lane have taken a couple of days off to just enjoy themselves. Have you had a chance to do that?
Yeah, had a few days up here just kicking back. My girlfriend flew up, so that's been really cool, and just trying to relax.
You didn't go to Magnetic Island or anything like that?
No, I was planning on doing it today, but you had to do a Facebook video with some guy. So
sorry about that.
Yeah,
are you in the cricket game that's happening later as well?
Yeah, maybe. I'm no good at cricket, so I don't know if I'll be doing it.
Excellent. Keep an eye on. I'm hoping it's going to get to air this weekend. Thank you, Cam. I'm going to go for a walk with Jack, and we'll walk past your race car so we can have a look at what state this thing's in at the moment. How'd you go on the weekend, Jack? Particularly Sunday looked to be a little better.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad for us. We had some pretty solid one-lap speed. Saturday was quite good for us in qualifying, and fortunately Sunday I just didn't piece the lap together. It was we were good enough to be in the 10, but I ran out of talent and sprayed the lap. So there we were. But no, we had a better race car on Sunday. Still lagging a little bit. We went quite early in the race, so made it difficult for ourselves. But we had a good time and went round and round.
What are the boys doing in the background here? I see a lot of masking tape on the front of the car, and it looks like there's something rather procedural to the way that they're using it, but I'm blind if I could try and figure out exactly what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what Dirt's doing down there. He's making a mess of it, so it's usually what he does best. It's one of his specialties. So no, I think they're just giving it a bit of a tune-up. There was a lot of run into people over the weekend. It was pretty crazy the first couple of laps in both days. So I'm sure we'll probably see a little bit more of that this weekend.
Plenty of broken bits around. Take me out the back, mate. Let's go for a walk, because last time I saw you, you were in the ice bath. You had your feet in there, which is pretty gross.
Stinky foot. It's delicious.
Stinky foot thing going on. Blisters, you said that they weren't too bad. Oh, this is pretty cool. Got some fresh parts ready to be covered up and stick it up, and beautiful truck assist colours to get out there in orange and black. The state of the body off the back of 500Ks?
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised. I pulled up, all right. It was good, and I was... pretty stoked with it, to be honest, and to roll into Monday and feel pretty brand new. But the foot's actually not too bad. It's sore for a couple of days, but it's been fine. So it's had a little bit of a hit of heat, and now we're hopefully back into it this weekend. But it's a shorter race this weekend, so we'll be fine with it.
So what happens with the ice bath off the back of a big week? You've refilled it. Please tell me this is new water from the last time you were here.
I actually hope it is. So, I just have my mongy foot in there on Sundays. So, it should be right. We'll throw waters in their head first later on, and we can taste it, see how it goes.
Is it cool at the moment?
I think it's all turned off, so it's probably nice.
Okay, it's not too bad.
A spa.
Bit of a spa bath at the moment.
Mate, yeah.
We've got a few broken parts back here as well. Rear bumper bar going on. We've got a couple of race seats. Because this is all essentially some spare parts from when you did the rides. Did you get to take some cool people for laps on Friday?
Yeah, it was really cool. With the NTI event on, we had heaps of guests up here from there and from Brisbane, all over the place. So that was really cool weekend. And gave a couple of those lucky brokers and everyone like that to a lap around this awesome circuit. So it's one of the cooler places to do it for sure.
Beautiful. Now, since it's the WD-40 Townsville SuperSprint, I've got a present for you for joining me on Facebook. One for you, one for Cam. I hear this is excellent at cleaning ice baths.
Is it really? Well, we'll give it a go. We'll see how we go. It's probably going to need it because I'm a little bit worried about what was in there after last weekend. So
some kind of fungal infection off the back of you sticking your feet in there.
Yeah, it's right. It was disgusting. So especially after I was doing 88 laps each day, and we would have been sweaty and nasty and pretty mongy. Gross. So it would have been delicious in there, I reckon.
All right, I'll leave you to it. Right. There's lots of work to be done. Cool to catch up with Jack LeBrock, Cam Waters, the Tickford boys. They've been in and out of the transporters, and all the engineering crew are working hard at finding some gains. I like that line from Cam. They've already clawed 30 seconds back in the race because we're going for much shorter races this week. All right, let's go for a bit of a walk out the back. I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up this weekend. Huge weekend once again. It's going to be round 7 now of hopefully 12, the Repco Supercars Championship. We've got 2 days of action, so it's just a Saturday, Sunday race, so we're going back to 2 days. Now that means practice is going to be on bright and early on Friday on Fox Sports, and then we're going to be racing all the way through the day. We've got 3 sprint races, so roughly 110 Ks of action each time, so roughly half of what we saw across the course of the weekend. Okay, Team 18, boys are working on the front splitters, getting everything ready. G'day guys, live on Facebook, how we doing? I can't see Frosty or Scott Pye getting around at the moment. I did see Frosty last night up on Castle Hill, which was pretty cool. He was keen to keep his fitness going. We saw Renee and the kids here this week as well. So a lot of drivers have taken this opportunity to try and bring their families up, which has been nice. Hey, didn't see this thing the other day. The BP Ultimate safety cars, unfortunately, for whichever way you want to look at it, or maybe fortunately, didn't get much of a run. We did see it out once or twice in some of the support categories. How cool do all of the cars look lined up at the back of the pit complex, all the way to the Repco Rider. And it's actually the Repco garage that we're heading to next. So the big Polaris is back here once again, and that's been taking some of the fans around from different parts of the track to the Activation Centre. This thing got a bit of a run, the Ford Ranger Raptor, which was doing recoveries across the course of the weekend as well. So it doesn't seem like there's too much going on at Walkinshaw and Drogheda United. The Dunlop guys are hard at work. They're getting ready and doing a whole range of tyres ready to go once again to make sure that everyone's got some Sport Max soft tyres for a huge weekend. It has been raining over the last couple of hours, so I wonder if we're going to see a little bit of that this week. It's the only time it's rained, probably the whole week since last Thursday, is today. So it's been really, really slippery under the foot. We've had about 5 mil of rain this morning, and as a result, it is incredibly muggy. It's really, really steamy here at the moment. So I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that wet stuff. I know 2019 we had a wet race here at Townsville, and as a result, it ended up being pretty hectic. Let's go in at Kelly Grove Racing. I saw earlier they were putting some vinyl wraps on these cars. I love watching them do the wrapping because it's a pretty cool process, and it looks like they're wrapping the back of Dave Reynolds' Mustang at the moment. Let's wander in and see who we can find. The boys are working hard. So here we go. Let's go around the left side here. We'll have a look at the boys putting a wrap on here, which is pretty cool. So what I love about this Penrite livery is we've got a little bit of Aussie flag theme going on it. Australian company, obviously. And so the boys are hard at work just making sure that this is all right. Now,
Sticker man.
not a sticker man. This is the only problem with this week. Everyone's having to find a different job to do this week. So good luck with that, fellas. From my experience of trying to put contact on school books back in the day, I was rubbish at it and there was bubbles everywhere. So hopefully these guys are a little better at it than I am. Andre Heimgartner's car over next to him. I saw Andre getting around a little bit earlier. He must have gone to limber up for this cricket game that's happening a little bit later on. He's actually been down to Ellie Beach, which is lovely. Great spot and a cool part of the world to go and find a few days off, particularly if you can bring the family up. All right, let's go at the back and we'll find plenty more parts ready to go for the weekend. These ones don't look too bad. I've seen some parts around here that have been fairly crunched up. The guys down at Team Sydney next door. And then Matt Stone Racing, one away. There's Jack Blotti, engineer for Zane Goddard. Congratulations to Jack and his lovely now fiancée Rachel. They got engaged on Magnetic Island the other day. That's a pretty cool thing to do. Hopefully going to get over and check out Magnetic Island before we go racing this weekend. So let's go at the back. We'll find the Repco garage. Now, if you've been lucky enough to go to a Supercars event this year, particularly at the Bend, we saw they had the big garage set up there with the mini golf and they had the beer pong, everything else going on. Now, they've added something extra to it, which is pit stop practice. So if you're coming to a Supercars event now, you can try your luck at pit stop practice, which is what I've invited the Shell V-Power mechanics down and Anton Di Pasquale. I didn't want to put Anton on the tools himself because he's a race car driver and they just want to stick to driving the car. They bring their own pit crew for a reason. So I've invited a couple of mechanics down from the Shell V-Power racing team. We're going to get over here to the garage, have a look at the size of this thing. You may have seen it in the coverage the other day. It's got a full history of Repco Motorsport and everything that they've done, which is an absolutely amazing story dating back to what they've achieved with Jack Brabham, guys like Frank Matic, and then obviously in the recent years on the Shell V-Power cars. And it's so cool to have Repco now, not just naming rights sponsor of the sport, but also a naming rights sponsor for the big one that's coming up a little later in the year. So this is the Repco garage. It's a two-story beast where you can not just watch the action, but get your hands dirty as well. We've got the Showtime C10. Now, this is the beautiful Chevy pickup that they've been able to hot up and get, well, certainly 1 or 2 skids going. But this is what I'm really keen to see. And these guys have come prepared. Anton Di Pasquale, you have brought 2 of the best guys in pit lane to come and show us this brand new activation and how it works. Who have we got under the helmets today?
So we've got Brendan and Josh. Yeah, we've got some quick guys down at Shell V-Power Race in the change of stops. So we've got some sprint rounds on the weekend. So a bit of practice here. What better place to do it at the challenge at Repco here. So anyone can do this on the weekend. So it's a pretty cool thing. This is amazing, isn't it? So let's just have a little look around before we get the guys going. They're in race suits and it's very steamy today. Have you noticed up on the top here, we've got some lights. So start means the car is in the bay. We've got 2 lights for the tyres, left front and left rear. And then once the tyres are done, the fuel goes in, so it's also a chance to practice the fuel stops, and the spike comes out, and we're going to time everything that happens. Now, Anton's not going to be getting on the tools today, but Anton is going to score the boys out of 10. Now, how are the pit stops on the weekend, Anton? Did the boys nail the pit stops for you?
Yeah, we're pretty good. On the weekend, obviously, fuel drops, so tyre stops aren't too fast. You're sort of just limited by fuels. But this weekend, obviously, back to sprint, no fuel, so tyres on. The faster they on, the faster they're out, and we're back on the racetrack. So.
Which also means Pertec Pit Stop Challenge is in play, and I know that these guys have won that before, and they'd be keen to win it again this year.
Yeah, for sure. Where the boys put a lot of work into their pit stops, and we've been pretty good so far. So hopefully carry that into the weekend. We'll do a bit of practice here and see what happens.
All right, now Sam is on the iPad down from the Showtime FMX guys, and they are going to hit the button, and that means that it's time to go. So Sam, we've got a nod. We're ready. Have a listen to how cool this thing is.
Okay, into the lane. Watch your speed. Pull it down. Stopping your marks. Left side tyres. Fuel only.
All right, boys, we've got the left rear off, left runners off. Back on again. How they doing, Anton?
Yeah, so far so good. So far so good.
Okay, here comes the fuel.
We're flying.
Nice big drink of fuel here. Okay, Anton, stand by, ready to go.
We're out.
Boom. All right. 19.5 seconds. That was a very good effort, and the Repco Supercar is back on pit lane and out onto the racetrack. That was actually not too far away from how long a pit stop would have taken on the weekend.
Yeah, hopefully we just drop the car out, clean air, and we're pressing on with it. But I think on the weekend we'll see some faster stops than that. We'll be hopefully in the 4s somewhere. So, yeah, but it's pretty cool. Anyone can come and do it and have a go and see how fast they are.
How cool is that now? Out of 10, what do you score the boys from their performance today here at the Repco pit stop practice?
Oh, just a flat out 10, yeah.
Flat out 10, boys. Well done. Anton gives it a 10 out of 10. Well done, guys. Thank you, Anton. Thanks to the Shell V-Power boys for coming down here. And I love the attention to detail. Check this out. They've already got the new sticker on it for the weekend. It's the WD-40 Townsville SuperSprint. It's happening this weekend. You do not want to miss any of the action. Thanks for joining us.